Alright, so this is our ECE 353 final project. Basically, this is about two tanks fighting together. It's better to visually show it. And basically, we have these two tanks, and you press the button to shoot, and whoever gets to 3 hearts gone first, then that means they win. Now let's go over the general rubric overview to show you how we got all the points. And so first up is the LCD animation. So as you can see, the animation is pretty basic, straightforward. You give the tank some input, like a joystick, or we also have an IMU implemented, which we will show later. The tank moves accordingly. And also for the shell firing, you have the animation for that too. And yeah, it's all pretty clean, pretty smooth. And as for the IMU, to get full credit, we didn't apply simple thresholding. We also took accelerometer readings and then divided by a scale factor, and then the tank moves accordingly. So as you can see, this is the minimum speed that it'll go, and then this is the acceleration. And so that couldn't be done with simple thresholding, and we did that. And as for the ambient light sensor, basically the purpose of the light sensor for us was to flash the light and to change the color of the map, mainly the tanks, accordingly. So if you could demonstrate.
Yeah. Like now it's greener. It's green, right?
Yeah, because now the lighting is pretty dark in here. You can't tell, but the tanks are gonna be this color. But once we flash the light onto it and reset it a couple times, it changes color of the tanks. And yeah, that's how the light sensor was used. Now to the two-player game part of the rubric. We enabled remote UART to get the game running for 2 players. As you can see, the data that we transmit is movement commands. And so when we make a single movement on this board, it sends a movement command to this one to move the other board.
That also works for another as well.
Yeah, and it works vice versa. And so also another part of the transmission scheme was also we had to know when to fire a shell. And basically, as you can see, if you focus your attention on the right board, I'm pressing the button on this one, and they're both firing. And so that data was also transmitted. The general firing scheme was also conveyed through the remote UART. And message queues. So the message queue, the way they implemented a message queue was in several ways. An example of one was when we took readings from the IMU, and we took reading from the IMU, and we send that queue from the task called the IMU task, and we send that queue to the LCD to draw the images that you see here. And that's just one example of a message queue, but we have a lot more implemented. And for our task notifications, specifically for an ISR task, I'm gonna give you that example first. So the ISR that we chose to implement was the UART. We chose to integrate the UART ISR, specifically the TX buffer empty, as a top half task. Oh, sorry, I meant the RX buffer as a bottom half task with the receive. So, like for example, the way that the movement command on this board is being transmitted into LCD animations is by sending whenever this board receives the UR receive interrupt, it sends a task notification to draw the other tank, which takes higher priority over this board's own actions. And you can see that in our code. Creativity.
And completeness should judge by you.
Yeah. That's all you. I hope you can come to agreement that this project's pretty creative. Completeness, yeah. Oh, and the IO expander. You may have noticed it already, but the LEDs, we use the IO expander to change the LEDs based on the game state. And so, for example, in the beginning, I should probably point out that in the very beginning of the start screen, during player selection, these two LEDs are red. Oops, sorry. And then when the player wins, or when the game is over, you will see that the LEDs will change color accordingly to signify that game's over.
Yep.
And
our EEPROM, we use EEPROM to record how many games we play.
Yeah, and that's like kind of like the back, like behind the scenes, so it's not really displayed over here. And yeah, hope you enjoy.